Story behind this. I think Bob was talking to his attorney one day, and Bob's a good Christian man, doesn't waste things. So he was talking to his attorney, and he said to him, "You know, I only want a plain pine box when I go." And he says, "I'm going to have my friends make it." So the attorney said to Bob, "Bob, that's a lot of work for one guy." When I go to the promised land, all my friends gotta understand, I don't want to go with nothing grand. Can't you see I'm a Christian man? Don't spend your money needlessly. Give it to the homeless, can't you see? Just help me. Plain pine box. Have a drink of toast and wine. I'll be happy in my house of mine. And one last thing, if you could, prepare for me that box of wood. I'm on the servant, I hope I've sinned. If my maker takes me in, just a plain pine box. The years will come and they will go, and maybe then you all may know that old over's not for me. Just again, just spared a lot. Then I know you cared a lot. Just build me a plain pine box. Send me out in humble style. Make my box from an old wood pile. I'll be happy to see inside. Hold forever a box inside. And take that money you might save and donate it for a pauper's grave. Just build me a plain pine box. Well, I won't know if I made my way until it comes the judgment day, when all my prayers are answered. Then did I have this one good friend who built me, a pine box. For the moment. My son always told me, he said, "Dad, you know, people laugh and they clap. They must have laughed." And he said, "But they're laughing at you." and I did tell him, I said, "You know, Billy," I said, "I really don't care if they're laughing at me, as long as they're laughing and having a good time. So continue to laugh."
Thank you, Waylon Williams. Daniel, would you like to come up?
No.
Am I getting ready, Daniel?
June 1st, Bob. So, I get the privilege of presenting Bob with his certificate of appreciation. So I figured I would take time to write some comments. Some of them may have been echoed before, and may not be that original, but Bob, these are my thoughts. This comes from my heart. First of all, when I started writing my comments, I had to check with the pension board a third time just to make sure Bob was really retiring. And even today, they affirmed, yes, Bob's done tomorrow. Although we're a few years difference in age, believe it or not, Bob and I started at the county together. And fortunately for Bob, he can retire and leave the rest of us rowing the boat. So I'm happy for you, Bob. He and I have seen a number of odd and uncomfortable behaviors over the years. We've dealt with all kinds of situations in pretty much every unit of the health department. And if it wasn't for confidentiality, he and I could tell you a bunch of things from our ill-fated dental clinic, even through probably, last week. So, many of you may know I briefly left the county in 2004 to go work up in the governor's office. And when I came back in January 2005, Bob was so happy to see me that he gave me a gift. It was called the Public Health Practices Standards Manual. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's about a half-mile wide and as dry as the Sahara. So, Bob, if you ever want to give me another gift, buy War and Peace. Bob has been a terrific health officer. If I had to pick one word, the first word that comes to my mind would be irascible. But I mean that in a very kind and affectionate way. So then I put a little more thought into it, and I really think that the second word, which reflects my personal views, is Bob has been very committed to the job. He's been consistently committed to improving the health and well-being of the citizens we serve. And he's demonstrated his efforts in several ways. And just some of the more prominent ways that I can think of, I made a short list here. First of all, he's definitely increased public outreach, education, and clinics. Bob has been determined to make the public aware of the importance of good health. Second, most of you probably know, Bob kind of oversaw the expansion of the animal shelter to the point that our feral cat population here in Burlington County has decreased, something that we really never would have expected to see. Bob himself, as most of you have seen, has adopted probably the nicest white shepherd on the East Coast, if not the U.S. But he's also encouraged anybody that can or has the ability to adopt a pet. So he walks it as well. And then a few moments ago, you heard April mention the correctional facilities. Bob was instrumental in getting HIV testing in our correctional facilities, and that, I know, took a lot of perseverance on his part, fighting some institutional kind of resistance. But Bob was determined to get it done, and now HIV testing in our correctional facilities has become the new normal for all commits. So I know these are just a few examples of Bob's character and job that he's done as a public health officer. In addition to being the director of HR, I know that Bob's always been deeply concerned about the welfare of his staff. By way of illustration, he established very early on his commitment to having a diverse workforce. He's made tremendous efforts there. He's hired many good candidates, and unfortunately, Bob, some of them have left us. I know there's a few here that have. But I can always say that whenever I've interacted with the professionals in the health department, I have yet to question the competence of anybody that Bob Gogatz has brought in to serve in that capacity in the health department. So, in addition to that, most of you are aware, Bob has also engaged our community by helping to build up some solid community groups such as the Medical Reserve Corps, CERT, and CART. So he's done all these things in addition to remaining very active with his public health industry groups, taking care of his family, and also his devotion to the church. So I just want to thank you personally, Bob, because you were great to work with. I really enjoyed it, and it's my honor to give you this certificate of appreciation from the Board of Freeholders, but also from me as one guy in